So now that we have our backgrounds done, I'm going to cut them down to size. So it's not long enough to cut in half first, so I will have to do this measurement first. So I'm cutting 4 inches. Put that down. Now I'm going to turn it this way because there's going to be an inch left over, and I'm going to choose that to be the inch that's left over. So you're just going to cut all your pieces of paper in 4-inch strips. And then once you have them cut in 4-inch strips, you will cut them at 5 inches. Is it 5 or 5.5? I think it's 5.5 actually. I'm going to double check. Yes, it's 5.5 because they're 11 inches long. So you'll do that to all your sheets. 4-inch strips, and then turn and 5.5 inches. So it's time to add some more to our cards to just embellish them a little bit more. So I've gone through, and once they've been cut up, there are some cards that don't have very much of a particular color. So I'm taking note of that, and like this, it could use some more teal and red, but at least there's a little bit of teal, so definitely I need more red. So I'm keeping that in mind while I embellish each card. So the 3 stamps I have from Picket Fence Studios are called On the Ocean. Oops, it's a little hard to see because it's been used, so you're seeing the ink. And Circles of Faith and Ocean Dreams. So I'm going to try and incorporate those. I may use it on some of the fronts, and then on others I may use it on the backs. And then currently Gel Press has their Designer Petites on sale for 50% off. And I'm thinking on some of the cards I'm going to be using those. Like for instance, I may take this heart and have it right here. So I have different shapes, and I will link which ones I use in the video in the description down below. So now that I've done all the extra gel printing and stamping, I'm going to go in with a white gel pen for some doodling, and then I'm also going to go in with this gold Decocolor marker. It's a metallic marker and it is amazing. The top's hard to come off, but like, it is amazing. So I'm just going to go in with some mark making. So I have completed my cards. I did some doodling on the stencil work. I used the foil, the gold foil pen around the images that I gel printed, and I used the Designer Petites for those. And I varied the shape, like I have the leaf shape, I have the teardrop shape, the heart, the diamond, the house, or if you turn it this way, it can be an arrow. I think, oh, and I used a chevron. I think that was basically, yeah, the main shapes that I used. And I also added some stamping with the Picket Fence stamps. And I don't know if you can see, but I doodled inside the stamped images by coloring in with the white gel pen. And I've also added a bit of stamping on the back. Not a lot, just a little bit. I didn't want to add too much because, you know, I'll either be writing or adding a picture or doing something on the backs of them. So I just did a little something so it wasn't too plain. I also went around the edge with my sewing machine, and the numbers that you see, that is from a very old Sizzix die, Boss O or Boss 0, and it's just the numbers. So I just ran it through my die cutting machine and did out the numbers for from 1 to 31. And I added some sari ribbon when I was going around with my stitching. I tried to vary like where I put it, like this side, that side. And then I was tending to do one side or the other, and then I noticed there was like nothing in the middle, so I did a scatter center one as well. So then when it's in whatever you place it in, you get to see all that. So now that I have my cards complete, I'm going to create a belly band. And this is for when it's all done and I want them stored, they're not all loose. So remember the 1-inch strips that we cut off from our paper? Well, I've kept those, and I'm going to choose one. I may need two, but I'm going to choose my favorite one. I'm going to create a belly band. So I have my scoreboard, and these pages are 4 inches wide. So I'm gonna go just slightly bigger than 4 inches. I'm gonna center my strip, and then I'm gonna score on each side of the center line. I'm gonna go over to 2 1/8. Oops. And I'm gonna score. And then the same thing on the other side. So then I can see what that is like. That is good, because you don't want it to be too tight. And then I'm gonna go and get an idea of how much on the sides. So I'm going to go about 1 inch. So 1 inch from that first score line. And then 1 inch from your other score line. So when you fold it, it should look like that. Now you notice that it kind of blends in with the card. So I thought, just to make it stand out a little bit more, I'm going to back it with some red cardstock. I'm just going to cut this strip a little wider. And this one should be 1 inch. So I'm going to cut this one maybe 1 1/4. Yeah, we'll go with 1 1/4. So I'm going to use some double-sided sticky tape, not on the whole thing, just on the edges, maybe just a little bit in the center. So we really didn't need all that glue, because I decided as an afterthought to go along the edge with a zigzag stitch. I think it just adds just a little bit more detail, makes it very pretty. So I'm going to add some double-sided tape again on the edge. We have our cards. I'm going to wrap that around. And I don't want to do this too tightly, like I'm not compressing the cards. I'm trying to let them lie nicely. I'm actually going to add a piece to that end as well, because they're going to overlap. And it goes well beyond. So there you go. I gave it a little bit of room just in case. Like, I don't want to add too much bulk to my cards, but I do have a little bit of room if I do. And it can slide off easily and go back on. So there you have it. I'm all prepped for my December daily. How awesome is that? Now there's less work to do in an already very busy month. I hope you enjoyed this project. Bye.